I'm sure we are all familiar with the word.
Your journey has reached its end.
Once you reach the end of your journey as I did, we will meet at this journey's end.
In the very first sentence.
I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. Noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air.
Step forth if you have understood the meaning of your journey. Defeat me, command me to step aside. Show me that you are worthier than I to rescue her. Then, the threads of all fate will be yours to reweave.
Today's episode. Wow, it's been almost a year since I last did a theory on Genshin Impact. Should really try another one of those. Any ideas, Paimon?
More riddles? Paimon's dizzy already. Oh no, Paimon used up all her brain juice.
Welcome to my life, Paimon. Welcome to my life. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that sees there's a 50-50 chance that you'll hit that subscribe button, and I like those odds. As I've already mentioned, today's episode is sponsored by Genshin Impact, who did an episode with us a year ago as well, so glad we didn't scare them away. They just released their new 2.5 update on February 16th, adding even more content for you to enjoy and explore in this ever-expanding world. There's new enemies, new quests, they're even bringing back some old characters like the Raiden Shogun to stand alongside their newest 5-star character, Yae Miko, which is funny, because both of them actually play an important part in today's theory. Don't you love it when an integration works out seamlessly? Now, all these new features are great and all, but we all know why I'm really here. Lore! For those of you who don't know, when you boot up the game for the first time, your character, the Traveler, gets sealed into a deep slumber where you then experience nightmares for 500 years. Talk about hitting a progression wall right off the bat. When you finally do wake up, you find yourself in Teyvat, a land that's been divided up into 7 regions, each with an Archon, a local elemental god presiding over it. Now, the last time we covered Genshin, we spoke mainly about the Geo-Archon Zhongli and how his decision to fake his own death might have actually doomed the people of Teyvat. So when Genshin asked me to do another episode, I figured, why not take a closer look at yet another Archon? But this time, let's one up the stakes. I actually wanted to focus on an Archon that we haven't met yet. One that's been heavily teased, and one that is integral to the ongoing plot of the game. The mysterious Tsaritsa, Cryo-Archon of Snezhnaya. The fact that I was able to pronounce that correctly should show that we not only do our research, but we also really enjoy this game. Fun fact about Tsaritsa, by the way, it's not actually her real name, it's a title. A title that comes from the feminine form of the word Tsar, hence why her followers sometimes call her the Tsaritsa.
Bravo, comrade! I doubt even that Tsaritsa herself ever expected I would make it this far.
Also, if the Tsar title and the word comrade didn't clue you in, the Snezhnaya region is actually inspired by Russia, which also explains why it's associated with the cryo element. There's a reason the Ushanka were invented in Russia. Ushanka are the hats with the fur ear flaps. Yeah, we're learning all sorts of wacky words today. This is a recording nightmare, man. Anyway, despite never having met Tsaritsa herself, she does appear to be the closest thing that Genshin Impact has to an overarching villain. Her followers, the Fatui, go from region to region beating up or tricking local gods in an effort to steal the source of their powers. But I've got a theory. Again! You know the deal at this point. That Tsaritsa isn't actually the villain that she appears to be. I'm determined to predict this game's big twist before it happens. That Tsaritsa, for how nasty her methods may be, will actually be revealed to be doing all this in order to save humanity. She has good intentions. Oh yeah, my friends, this is classic game theory. The villain isn't the villain at all, and I'm about to prove it. Oh, and also the brand would like me to remind you that although this video is sponsored, all the conclusions I've come to are mine and mine alone, based on dialogue and story elements within the game. I've got no external help whatsoever, and who knows, I might have just prompted them to change their entire storyline. Okay, so let's look at the events of the game to understand what she's done and what might really be going on here. In pretty much every story arc thus far, Tsaritsa's followers, the Fatui, are constantly up to shady stuff. In the prologue, we see one of Tsaritsa's lieutenants beat up the Archon of Mondstadt in order to steal his magical god item, his Gnosis, which connects the user to Celestia, land of the gods, in the process amplifying their elemental powers. Each of the 7 Archons have has one Gnosis, which means that Tsaritsa already has one of her own, but now she's sending out her goons to go and collect the others. Given that these are meant to be sources of divine cosmic power, Tsaritsa immediately starts giving off some serious Thanos vibes, and her quest for the Infinity Stones doesn't stop in the prologue. In the very next